for joining me on Unfiltered with Nayah, where we talk about everything pop culture, politics, and really just get a deeper background on people who's in the industry that you probably never heard of, or maybe they're not like Blueface and Krishan in your face, but they're still making moves to start everything out. Give us a little bit info about yourself, where you from, what you do, and how you got started in this industry.
Hey y'all, my name is China Lovelace. I am a journalist. I write with The Shade Room. I'm an artist. I just dropped my first single, and I would just say I'm an overall media girl. I am from the Bay Area by way of Stockton. My start in the industry started at Virginia State University, the radio station 91.3 WVST. So as a sophomore, I had a tour of the radio station. I kind of had like a reality check because I was like on academic probation. I wasn't doing the best. And I was like, girl, this is what you want to do. Like, get it together. So I volunteered at Virginia State's radio station my sophomore year up until after I graduated. And that got me my first taste of the industry. And from that job, I got a job at 99.5 Jams in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina.
How was it working for the radio station at the school? Like, is that different?
Yeah. It was very, very different from working at a commercial radio station. At Virginia State Station, I did gospel on Sundays. And like, you know, it's more, the station kind of is like catered to like older folks that live in the community. But it was really, really good and beneficial for my career because like in radio, you learn you have to wear multiple hats. So you gotta be the personality on air. You gotta run the board. You gotta do the logs. Like you gotta do everything. So it really taught me like to, you know, those skills of learning how to wear multiple hats is something I took with me today. I think the biggest difference is like the music because like I said, the commercial radio station at 99.5 Jams, like I could kind of like do what I wanted to, have like a little bit more freedom. But they're both great experiences.
Would you say like the school jump started your career after the radio station? Or after the radio station, were you in a different field? Like, were you doing something else? Or it's always been like straight media?
So it took me a long time to like get to where I'm at today. Because even when I was working in radio, I worked at a lot of call centers. So like,
that's why I'm like, was it just straight radio, or were you like?
No. I'll give you like the real deep dive rundown because it took me a long time. So, boom, started off at Virginia State Station, but I had a full-time job at Capital One. And then I got the job at 99.5 Jams. I was only working 1 day a week, so I was working Sundays, and I was getting paid $7.25 an hour. But it was my passion, so you know I stuck with it, and I stayed at that station for almost a year. I was the only woman at the station, but I got laid off. So I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do next? I don't really care about these call center jobs, but I moved to Charlotte off of the strength of a possible job at a brand new radio station that never existed. So
wait,
I moved
to
Charlotte
by yourself?
Yeah, I moved to Charlotte by myself. My ex-boyfriend at the time, he was living in Richmond, Virginia, so he was supposed to move down there with me, but it didn't ever work out. So, but I went to Charlotte. I ended up working at another call center, Windstream, but I quit that job and I did an unpaid internship at Charlotte Motor Speedway in their PR department. Super, super bomb. That was definitely very beneficial because I learned how to do like media from a professional standpoint. It was like social media like was just like popping in. I ended up working at another call center at Verizon. So this is 2015. So depressed, hated it. And I found a job at a radio station doing like the street team, more promotional, which is like completely the opposite of what I want to do on air. So I ended up moving back to California in 2015. The move was great. I ended up launching my own platform, Always Relevant TV, which is still around. Kind of similar to your platform. Like I go to red carpet events.
I know, you know,
Yes, Always Relevant TV. I started that 2016. I still worked other jobs. Like I worked at an office, I worked at Enterprise, got fired from there, worked at a nonprofit, got fired from there.
Girl, I know. I know. That happened to me too. That's all. Girl, me too.
Because it's like when you work a job that you don't like, you're going to be good in the first year or so. But after, you know, like it just
focus on your passion. You're like out of it.
Yep. And I think like me getting fired from the nonprofit I was at, it was a great job, but it just like, I was getting lazy. And I wasn't doing the best work because it's like I wanted to do more. Yeah, but regular jobs is not for me. So While I was working at the nonprofit, I had started working at another blog through one of my sorority sisters. Like, she got me the job there. I ended up leaving that company, and one of my friends, Gina, was like, trying to, the Shade Room was hiring, and she had told me about it like twice. And so the second time it had came about, I had left the other company, got the job at the Shade Room, and I've been there almost 3 years in September.
I love how everything like lined up, from like radio to media to internships to volunteer, street team, and then boom, got it.
It took a long time, but I think like just the persistence that I had is like just showing people like never give up, because I was so unhappy with those regular jobs. Like, they were boring, the pay was well, but it was just like, this is not my passion. So I just was like, okay, I hear you guys. So I think when you like doing something you're passionate about, you're gonna like it a little bit more. Well, shit, you go damn near love it. You should love it.
Did you know anyone coming up in the game, and how did you like hustle to like really make your stamp? Like, because you know everybody can be a journalist, but like, how did you make your name be like, oh, like y'all gonna notice me here? Like, I'm not about to just be like, you know.
I think like when I moved back to California, I was volunteering at a TV station in Oakland called Our TV, and we had did a couple of events. And I just like, I'm a person that's always on the internet. I want to know what's going on. And like the biggest thing we did, or I did while I was volunteering at the station, was Super Bowl 50 was in San Francisco. So I just found some little promoter. I emailed them like, hey, I do media. Can I come and cover the event? And he had just sent us like a whole list of events, and like I got to go do a couple red carpet events. But it took such a long time for me to get the content back. So I'm like, I done interviewed Too Short. I done interviewed these people from 49, and nobody could see it. Like, so I was kind of like not feeling it after that. But I'm just like, if I can do the same thing with this TV station, I can do this on my own. So me and another girl that were there, me and Erin, we ended up just like saying like we could do this on our own. We went to the Amber Rose Slut Walk, and that was in LA. We drove down from the Bay, and we just finessed our way in. Well, we had the proper paperwork. We had the proper paperwork.
Right.
We didn't do what we needed to do, but like we got our way in there, and you know, I just made myself known. I think like networking has always been like I had a love-hate relationship with networking, because it's like I'm so vocal, but I'm also like kind of nervous to like talk to people at the same time, which makes no sense. But I just feel like I don't really feel like necessarily somebody put me on, but I just feel like I built relationships over the years. Like, as I first was starting off, like didn't nobody know me, but I just pitched and I put myself out there, and I'm like willing to drive, willing to go to these places, investing in the camera, like just doing whatever I needed to do to make sure I get myself out there and people know like, oh, that's China, like she consistent, she in the bag, she travel, and she doing this stuff.
When you felt like you were like really up there and like everybody knew who you was, did you ever feel like your friends or family or even like boyfriends tried to use you for your money, or like use you for like, you know, to come up? Because like once people know you on, you know, more money, more problems.
Yeah. Girl, what boyfriends? I done been single all these years. I ain't got no boyfriend, okay? But I think like my job at the Shade Room, like, because even at the previous blog that I worked with, like I've got more visibility, but when I got to the Shade Room, like I had $5,000. I mean, not $5,000, 5,000 followers.
Look at you, everybody's like,
No, the girl, I did not have no $5,000 at the time. But I had 5,000 followers at that time. And when I started working there, like my followers just shot up. So I think like people will see, hey y'all, people will see like, oh, that's China, she worked at Shade Room. Let me slide in her DMs and see how she can post it. What can you do for me? But one thing that I've learned since working here is the contacts that I'm making need to be mutually beneficial. I'm not about to just do stuff for you. Like, what can you do for me? Like, what type of relationship are we building? And as far as like my friends and family, they go hard for me. Like, when I was working at all them call centers and admin jobs, my mom was just like, I didn't pay all this money for you to go to school to be doing these jobs. You need to do what you really want to do and what you're passionate about. nobody ever try to get over on me, but people in the industry will try to use you to their own benefit.
When it comes to making music, how long have you been writing, and how far do you see yourself in the future as an artist?
For those that are new, they may not be familiar with me. I just released my first single. It's called Pretty Girl Freestyle, produced by BeatKing.
Okay.
Man, BeatKing.
BeatKing. Okay.
Yes. So I never really had the aspirations to be like, oh, I want to be a rapper, I want to be an artist. But I've always loved music since I was a child. Last year, I was like, I want to do a song. I want to do a song, a cute little summer bop, shouting out the sororities and the fraternities and the HBCUs. Right. So I'm an AKA, so my song shouts out everybody a part of the Divine Nine, which is the Black sororities and fraternities. And it's a cute, clean song. You know, I'm just promoting it, trying to get the song out there. And as far as like what I see for artists, like for me in my career, like it's still kind of up in the air. Like I do want to do more songs. I'm thinking about an EP. Like I can't just give the one vibe.
Because when I was on Apple Music, I'm like, where the rest? Like,
yeah.
I want to scroll through your music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna at least do an EP. Like I'm organizing a little tour. I got a couple dates this summer where I'll perform places. Yeah, so anybody want to sponsor me on the tour, slide in my DMs. I definitely at least want to do an EP and just kind of see where it goes. Like I want to be able to grow as an artist and learn and things like that, since this is something new for me.
Do you write your own lyrics? And like, how do you feel about like ghostwriters and people who don't write their own music? Because you know that's a very big, heavy topic, especially with the females right now, on who writes and who don't write.
Right. Yeah. So with this being my first song, I kind of was like, okay, when I got to the studio with BeatKing, I thought like, okay, he gonna help me write my song because I don't really know what I'm doing. But he made the beat there right on the spot, and I just kind of like listened to the beat. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just say this. I already knew what I wanted the song to be about, so I wrote the song myself, and he kind of just helped me. Like he was like, okay, you trying to say this stuff grammatically, like how you write it out, you gotta condense it down. But as far as that first song, I wrote it. But when I do work on my EP in the future, I'm open to working with writers. I mean, I think that it's important that women push their pen, and that's also kind of been like shoved down our throat in society. But let's not act like Cardi B is an example. Cardi B has a team of writers, and we love her music. So I don't think like if you write songs or if you have a writing team that it should dictate if your music is good or not, because clearly people are still listening to music with writers. I feel like rap is the only like genre of music where they be like, okay, she don't push her pen or she had a writer, like it's not credible. But I don't really think it should be that way. I think if you write your own music, great. If you want to work with a team of writers to help you make the song stronger, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So I'm open to both.
Let's get back into the industry gossip. So I know that you've been to a lot of events and red carpet events and premieres, and you single. So have you shot your shot at anybody, or has anybody shot their shot at you?
I flirt. Like if I go to events, like I'll go to the event. So if I'm going to the event for work, like with Always Relevant TV or the Shade Room, I'm kind of going to be laser focused on like what the task is. Like I'll talk to people, but when you're working those red carpets, it's a lot, because them carpets go so quick, and like you could be wanting to talk to this person and then another person come and then you might miss the other person, so it'll be too much. So I'll be focused on work. Now if I'm going to an event for play, like I flirt with people. I'll, introduce myself like, hey, I'm trying to, like, I work with the Shade Room. But I feel like the thing, like, that I've noticed about LA is, like, men don't approach me. So, like, they won't approach me. They won't holler at me.
Usually approach me.
I don't mind approaching a man. Like, if I'm like, oh, he fine, let me go say something. Like, I don't mind approaching a man, but I just think that in California, I don't like dating in California. It sucks.
Her Cali got all the
fine.
The fine ones.
We're not even. I can't even get into that with you, because dating in California is trash. I promise you.
Do you prefer a rich nigga or a 9-to-5?
Oh, you can have a 9-to-5. I got a 9-to-5. As long as you. So the thing is with me, I feel like I've been very flexible with people and try to meet them where they're at. Not everybody has a college degree. that's great. I mean, if you don't have one, but have a career. Like I'm not gonna date somebody that's not the cheaters. I'm not gonna date somebody that's not bringing something to the table. Like you can have a 9 to 5 and a career, and you have to have goals and aspirations. And if you just, got all the money, you're an entrepreneur, that's cool too.
So tell us more about your show, Always Relevant TV, and how your show on TSR AMP came about.
Always Relevant TV, that's the platform in itself. So with my platform, I have a YouTube page, and I'm on Instagram. And so if you go on my platform, you'll see different interviews with there could be well-known celebrities that are up next. I know if you go way, way back, it'll be some fashion, because I wanted to do music, fashion, and culture. So the most recent interview I did was with Chaotic from Love and Hip Hop Miami.
Chaotic.
So
it was really chaotic. Yeah. For real.
He was really cool though. Ooh, he fine too. But I didn't try to shoot my shot because he got a lady.
He don't think it.
No, he got a lady. He got a lady. But I was I did admire him because when he cut off his locks, I'm ooh, damn. But so I interviewed him, and then I went to the Baddies West premiere, which was. The Baddies West premiere produced the best content that I have put out on YouTube since I launched my channel in 2015. I interviewed most of the Baddies West cast, but it was the Natalie Nunn interview and Krishan and Jonathan Wright that just went super, super crazy. So I was really proud of those. And I like to do short interviews because ain't nobody going to be spending a lot of time watching stuff. People have short attention spans.
Baddies West and Chaotic is a huge deal too. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I'm girl, that's a big accomplishment. Yes, that is amazing.
As far as the TSR Live on AMP, the radio show, so it's on a hiatus right now. So I'm hoping that it comes back. I don't really know. I've always expressed interest about wanting to do on camera work at the Shade Room. And I started off in radio, so if anybody knows radio stuff, it's me. That experience was super cool, with Lajane and Cleo. Lajane is my friend in real life, and we worked together. And meeting Cleo, he was super cool. And we had Saucy Santana. I loved Davis. She was on there. Jacquees, Akbar V. It was.
Y'all had everybody coming with the hits.
Yes, it was a time, so it was really, really a great experience.
Yeah, I hope it comes back too, because the preview for it got me live. I'm over here checking, am I missing something? I cannot miss this show. So I hope it comes back too, because I know everybody's gonna be tuning in. Now that you said that, this is a question off the top right now, because I'm it's so real. Let me just break it down, relate to her. Have you ever felt a time in your life, your career, it was at a halt? And how did you come out of that depression stage? I don't feel what's next for me, or I'm not really getting another hit. How did you come out of that?
Through those times where I was working at those call centers and, moved back home, and I lived with my parents for X amount of years. And then, I'm getting fired from jobs. I'm to the point where I want to quit. It's been real. I don't got no problem being on unemployment. That's a little break for me. Because we got a whole life working. Okay. But, I just think it was times that I definitely was okay, well, maybe the media industry is not for me. Maybe I can just get a career in HR. It definitely takes a long time. I know it's definitely times where I just was well, this is not for me. But then I think moving back to California and being around my family, and then pushing me, and then just seeing how easy it is to apply to go to events, and you can go. Not that I got approved to every event, but I'm going to that Monroe slut walk, and I had a camera. It was Aaron, my partner's camera. But I've seen people out there on the red carpet on their phones recording, talking to celebrities. I'm you really don't need a lot to get started. You just gotta stay motivated. Stay motivated and just really bet on yourself. And that's why I be telling people nowadays, if I was in college and I would have stayed true to YouTube, I'd have probably been super, super far into it. Or I remember before podcasting, it was a thing. And 2012 was the first time I heard about a podcast. I was I want to do a podcast.
Because a lot of people,
I wish I would have did it. No, nobody had a podcast in 2012. So if I would have did a podcast and really would have did my hand at YouTube, just vlogging or doing hair reviews or whatever, like it's no telling like where my career would have been at this point. So like if people get discouraged, like it's fine to be discouraged for a little bit, but don't stay in that discouragement. Like encourage yourself and get out there and get to like what you really want to do, no matter how long it takes you.
Yes. Is there any future projects or any person that you will want to work with in the future?
Yes. So big goal would be Megan Thee Stallion, but a goal that I feel like I can reach right now would be Ken the Man. Yes, like I really love Ken the Man, and like I just like her whole look, her whole persona. Like she's super raw with the bars.
Energy. She gives boss bitch like women empowerment energy.
So I would like to definitely work with her, like get a verse for her, and I want to continue to work with BeatKing. I feel like I can learn a lot from him, just like within our one studio session. Like I feel like I learned a lot, so I definitely want to work with him again and do more music and just kind of just like have him like mentor me a little bit, because like he's so supportive. Like, and that's when I talk about like having a mutually beneficial relationship with people. Like when I post something and tag him about the song, him and his girlfriend come and show me support. So I'm gonna say
we finna get that EP.
Look, I'm like, somebody sponsor me, because the funds it's a lot. It's expensive.
What advice would you give to anybody that wants to be a journalist or an artist, and what steps would you say they have to take, motivation wise and money wise? Just the real, not the fake.
As far as being a journalist, and I feel like just because you have your college degree doesn't guarantee anything. But first, have the skill set. Like if you're in college, do a damn internship. And I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back: do a damn internship. It was required for me to do an internship to graduate.
It was required for me too.
Okay, now I don't know about kids today, but do a damn internship, okay? Reach out to your community, whether you're in a sorority or if you're not in a sorority. If you went to HBCU, if you see professionals in your field, reach out to those individuals and just be like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I see you work here. Is there any tips you can give me? Are y'all hiring? Do y'all have internships? Like, don't be afraid to shoot your shot in the DMs. Because I get people that, you know, reach out to me all the time. And if the Shade Room is hiring, I let them know. If they're not, but I still will tell them like, hey, you could do these, or these are some different groups that I'm in for women in media, and they always have resources. As far as like anybody that's wanting to be an artist, this is new for me. Everybody can say they want to do something, but you got to actually do it. Like, don't just say you want to be about it. Like, you have to put the effort in to do it. So
studio time, writing, producer time, all of that.
Yeah, so you know, I reached out to BeatKing, and I was so fortunate that he was like, yeah, come on, we gonna do it. He could have said no. So like if he would have said no, I would have had to be like, okay, he said no, but that don't mean that I can't do what I want to do. I gotta reach out to these other producers. And a lot of people will use their paycheck to fund their passion. It's no shame with doing that. Like that's what I'm doing. Set a budget. Be realistic about what you can afford and how much you want to spend. Like with me, I'm going on tour this summer. I'm funding it myself. So I have to like make sure I have the budget.
People gonna support, they gonna give you your money back 10 times.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, God, I just want to make my money back. And like right now, I'm just, my older brothers, they rap, and they were just like, just do it to have fun. Don't have too many expectations. Just do it to have fun. And if you feel like you really want to be serious about it, then set the expectations. Where I'm at right now is just like, you know, every day I feel like I'm doing something from my music, whether it's DMing people, DMing DJs, telling people about my song, posting on social media, and say like, I want to put this song out. I want to shoot a video. I shot the video. I want to go on tour. I'm going on tour this summer. So like, whatever you say you want to do, find a way to make it happen, and just you really put yourself out there.
Well, last but not least, I was gonna say what's next for you, but I already know we got the tour. I can ask when's the next episode of Always Relevant, or when you think the EP might be coming out.
See, the thing about the industry and being an artist and having multiple hats is like finding balance, and I think sometimes like that's something I struggle with. Always Relevant TV is kind of on the back burner right now because me being an artist is taking the forefront, and it's hard.
Yeah, push that, girl.
Yeah, so I don't have I don't have an answer as far as like when I'm gonna do another interview for Always Relevant TV. The BT Awards is gonna be coming up, so I'm sure it's gonna be some events. So I'm sure there's gonna be something with that. As far as the EP, I don't have a date, but I would like to do it at least by because the song is for the summer, so I'm definitely pushing the song. That's the priority. I would like to say maybe by the fall I'll have an EP out because I want to drop a remix to Pretty Girl Freestyle, and you know I just gotta have my money together and just figure out like what's the artist I can work with, because I would like to have like somebody on the remix. Like a big artist on the remix, like somebody I probably can afford. When you want to drop an EP or an album, you got to still put in like the marketing, and you have to have a whole thing. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So I want to say at least by the fall.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Give everybody your social media platforms so they can follow you, even though you got more followers than me. But
That's
let them know. Let them know.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you for reaching out and the support. But you guys can find me on all platforms. I'm here. I'm on Twitter, and I'm on YouTube at China_Lovelace. And then on YouTube, it's just China Lovelace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Again. And I had so much fun. And thank you for replying to me, because like you said, I just got to reach out. Sometimes you guys just got to reach out. And thank you again. This was so much fun.
No problem. And if you need anything, we connected. So I'm just one little message away.
Yes.